So it sounds like there's going to be a lot more activities for students to get involved with to help with their learning than just lecture videos online.
Absolutely. And I think I would go back to the point that in some ways it's a very similar range of activities. The lecture videos themselves, as you described them, will not be passive. There will not be the spectre of sitting in front of a computer for an hour, watching somebody drone on for an hour. And we've been very clear with colleagues about that. They're working, again, extremely hard this summer, preparing generally, and it will vary a little bit on the individual and the discipline, but generally shorter chunks of video, often with tasks in between. So online learning itself will actually be an extremely active form of learning. However, we will also have, if the worst happened and we had to go back into lockdown, for example, if every seminar had to be an online seminar, we're now really experienced at running those. We know how to run them. We're quite good at them. We can all get the best out of those. So there will still be that interaction with peer groups. There will still be interaction with academic tutors. But the big thing that we're doing next year that's different is that we are including for all students a weekly small group tutorial that will meet with the same member of staff, same small group of students every week. Exactly what is contained in these will vary a little bit from discipline to discipline, but basically we want to interact with you. We want to know how this is going. We want to be very sure that despite our best efforts, if we do end up in lockdown, if we do end up having to be mainly online, we want to make sure that you're still with us. We want to make sure that there's nothing going wrong for you, you know, that perhaps that we might be able to help with. We want to make sure that you're able to keep up. We want to make sure that, you know, if what we're offering isn't working for you, we want to know. And we want to hear it, and that is a chance, and that is a very new thing that we've introduced for this year, and we're very proud of it. We're very excited about it, because we genuinely are really anxious about our students. We care about you. We know this is hard. This is really hard. This is an extraordinary situation that we're in, so we wanted to offer that extra support, and that will be an absolute core of our offering next year, that we know that you're keeping up. We will be listening to you, and you will be able to hear us as well as we support you.
If I can just follow up that idea of student communities online and what it will look like online, the tutorials, the weekly tutorials are a great thing for students to be able to interact with each other and also the tutor. But what we're finding from our experimentation and our experience of things like Zoom is that actually there is real added value, because I could, for example, have my tutees and have a conversation with them and then send them off into a breakout room to do something, and then come back and present and some ideas that maybe they've thought about a little bit in a private room, for example. I could also very easily say to my students, right, prepare something on a science subject, and then we're going to talk to Elaine's tutor group about it from an arts perspective. And we can do that really easily. In the actual campus, that's very difficult because we've got to book rooms, we've got to align our timetables and so on. But if everybody's doing tutorials at the same time, we can put groups of students together, we can put them with second years, with third years, we can put them with PhD students. We can really mix things up and be really creative about the way that we're teaching our tutorials. And our staff are really working hard and are actually genuinely excited about these new opportunities. I think it's a game changer.
Staff really are grasping this suddenly and very, very quickly in terms of ways that they can do this. And I would also say, just as I wouldn't overemphasize how different next year will be, nor would I ever want anybody to think that somehow online is less good. In some ways, as Jerry has said, we're able to do things online that we can't do in person. And this is just anecdotal, but something I noticed whenever we started teaching via Zoom in lockdown, and it was just for a couple of weeks. I really noticed it was often the shyer students who started taking part in seminars more, particularly using the chat. And in some ways, I mean, this, as Jerry has said, this is a game changer. This really opened my eyes to realizing that online teaching can actually be a way to give a voice to students who sometimes struggle in a more traditional seminar setting. So there's a lot to be gained here as well, and we're here to make to make very good use of this opportunity.